Hello my beautiful friends, how are you today? So my name is Owen Fox, and in this video I just trying to squeeze it in. You know, I don't have too much time in the day to be free to making videos, to be honest. Busy family man with a beautiful family. But in this video I just feel really inspired to share what's on my mind and what's very relevant to the situation that's going on in the world, where there's the age of Aquarius is starting and global awakening is happening. Despite all the scary news you may hear in the world, there isn't going to be a great negative reset. There isn't going to be... The dark forces aren't going to grow. They're lessening, but it's just a gradual process as we individually awaken and collectively awaken. So I'm really thrilled for what's going on, to be honest. Like, not the hard stuff, the negative stuff, so to speak. But I'm delighted we're giving birth, and that can be challenging. But we're giving birth to a new planet. And I, for one, absolutely am so excited and happy and joyful to see all the positive changes. Like, you'll never see it in the mainstream news, but outside of the mainstream news, there's tons of stuff happening, such as like basically detaining / arresting of the negative people who are in control, which is probably millions, but it's a gradual process. And why this is happening is because people are uniting for one of the first times in human history. The earth and the people of it are uniting as we wake up and grow and ascend. And like I said in other videos, all ascend means is just a fancy word to rise. Like in the same way as if you ascend the staircase, you're rising up the staircase, right? So what are we rising? We're rising our frequency, energy and vibration and our consciousness. So the topic, the title of this video that I wrote down is developing your spirituality. And what does that mean exactly? So for me, the definition of spirituality has a few core meanings and principles, and they're pretty straightforward, and there's only probably around 3 of them. One is connecting with and aligning with the truth. So it means being honest. So to be more spiritual, to be more spiritually aligned, is to be more honest, to share honest news, to understand and be intuitive about what's the truth and what's honest, to be more discerning, and to speak the truth, and okay, so that's one aspect. And to learn the truths of the universe, that's very important, beyond all the lies of religion, which is a man-made egoical structure, basically speaking, basically made by the Cabal, for the most part. Not totally, I'm just saying a tremendous amount of religion is just beliefs instead of knowing. It's beliefs and ideas and principles instead of knowing and having your own experience firsthand. But anyway, not to dive too much into that, but just want to say religion can be very disempowering and limiting, but it can be nice if you're being more heart-centered. So that's the positive of it. So that's principle number 1 of being more spiritual and developing your spirituality. Truth. Second one, purity. That means cleansing and clarifying and purifying your body temple. Okay, that means living. What causes disease, cancer, and all the diseases and ill health? It's unnatural diet and unnatural living practices. So what does that mean? It means stuff like too much. The unnatural living practice of eating too much food, the unnatural diet of cooking our food. I'm not trying to demonize cooking, but most of what we cook is very downward for our consciousness and vibration. And how is a simple way to understand if it's downward or upward? Feel into your body after you eat a meal, okay? Does it energize you and give to you and uplift you and brighten your mood and perkiness and sprightliness and happiness and joy? Or does it make you feel sedated or stimulated first and then sedated and tired and sort of like lethargic and just lower energy and less inspired and less creative? So now you know what I'm talking about, my friends. Now you know exactly what I'm talking about. So clarifying, purifying, cleansing. And other unnatural diet also is eating an unnatural diet for our species. The best food easily for humans is definitely fruits. And the only reason why some people talk about the keto diet or cooking dead animals, which I'm highly not in favour of because it's completely non-compassionate, and non-feeling empathy and connected to the animals, the divine beings. And there's a spiritual bypass idea of, well, they're spiritually just giving themselves to us. Well, they're advanced animals like us, and if you ever try to hurt, kill your neighbour's pet or another human being and just say, well, they came into it with the karmic gift to give themselves up for us, no one would accept that whatsoever, and neither would you if someone tried to hurt you or your family. And the same way, if you think they're lower species, that's also going against the principle of treat others like you like to be treated. And you have one rule that applies to all. It doesn't just apply to your own personal benefit. So what if advanced, and there is many advanced extraterrestrials, if they were to use their bigger bodies or advanced technology to hurt, abuse, exploit, kill or rape you or your mum or your dad or your sister or your brother or your child, you'd never want that. So therefore you cannot apply that rule of just because we think we're better or more advanced, so therefore we can do whatever we want with a lesser species. That therefore doesn't apply either. So moving on, my friends, and I don't mean that in any judgment, I'm just being clear and pure of mind. So that would be the next one, to purify and clarify your mind of programming and mind viruses, which is just another fancy word for programming and indoctrinated belief systems. So, but let me just finish off the whole thing with the body first. The purification and clarification of the body. What other ones are involved in that? So the natural versus unnatural diet and lifestyle practices. So the unnatural things that cause disease and all the diseases and everything you want to call by the medical industry is stuff doesn't belong in the body. So it's unnatural, it doesn't belong there, and it obstructs us and lodges in us and causes damage, irritation, acidosis and degeneration of our body and our cells and our systems and our organs. So that would include especially cooked animals, cooked dairy, so cooked milk, so anything that's pasteurized or cooked. So that in terms of animal products, that would be like any dead animal remains, like what they call meat, which is just basically generally muscle or organs of dead animals that's rotting and decaying. And I don't use those words to spook anyone out or judge anyone. I use those words, rotting and decaying, to be clear on what it is, because meat is just a cover-up word to sound good, so people who are consuming, who are programmed, don't know what they're really taking. Because I didn't discover all this and start to become clear and even discover vegetarianism until I was the age of 24, which is incredible. So any like pasteurized milk, dairy, eggs, ice cream, all the confectionery made from any of those products, cheese, yogurt, all anything made from like dead animal milk, like milk. That's of course robbed from the babies, of course. But anyway, I won't get into that too much. This isn't about veganism. All of that causes all the disease and obstruction and rotting and acidosis and fermentation in our guts. And like many doctors accurately say, basically the root and the disease starts in our gut, in our intestines, in our small intestine, by what we put in our mouth. Then it goes into our stomach, and then it goes into our intestines and putrefies and rots and causes degeneration and obstruction, which interferes energetically in our chakras and meridians and our glands and our energy flow, which the East are really up on in terms of energy healing, Tai Chi, Qigong and acupuncture. Energy is real. I just went for like a 10-15 minute run in the forest, and then I did some like Qigong at the end, feeling the energy. Qigong just means energy movement. Qi, energy, and Gong, movement. So, other things are, of course, then cooked starches aren't the best, but the more gluier and pastier, the worse. But animal products and dead animals are the worst. It's much better or much less worse if it's raw animal products and meat, but that's definitely not optimal or good in my opinion. That's just vampiring, and it's still not optimal. So we're frugivores, which means anatomically speaking we are designed for fruits and tender green leaves, tender shoots, something that's very soft and easy on our palate. Anatomically we could never tear an animal apart, never. It's too difficult. So we never designed long enough, despite what the mainstream media, controlled by the cabal, the mainstream media is used as an instrument and a weapon and a device for control, disempowerment, and lowering our consciousness. So they're full of lies. So anything you've been brought up to believe is basically, probably most surely, a big, massive lie. So, and that's why everyone's sick. Who's not sick? Raw vegans. We're frugivores, my friends. And if you want to find out the ultimate power of someone, you stop eating and you fast, and see how much vitality you have on just water or even air for a bunch of days or weeks. I know people who've done a week-long dry fast and they're exercising every day vigorously with full of energy because their body's efficient and power and vital. And as Arnold Ehret spoke of, power, P equals V minus O. Your outward final power is determined by your vitality, which is Jing, as the Chinese medical call it. The Chinese TCM, traditional medicine and herbalism, call it your adrenal and sexual and adaptive reproductive power, and the fundamental core strength of your body that's focusing in around your kidney and adrenals in the base of your abdomen, the front and the back. That's your Jing. That's your power. That's your vitality. So power equals your vitality, your robustness and genetical inherited constitutional strength, minus your obstruction, which is everything you put into your body that stays there and got stuck and lodged and dehydrated with acids and congealed, and the mucoid plaque and all the chemicals and toxins. So when you have your vitality and you take away how much obstructions you do or don't have, that is your outward final power. And the more power you have, the more spiritual potential you have if you do the clarification and purification, and you develop your spirituality too. But even just on a purely physical, basic, grounded level, the more power you have, the longer you can do without food and stimulants. And dead animals that are eaten cooked or raw are stimulants. They don't clean your body and make you become truly powerful. Cleaning your body and natural living practices and our natural frugivorous diet makes you powerful, where you strip away the food and you just have water, or even no water, or a smaller amount of water, or any amount of water. You strip away the food and you compare these people. That is when you'll find out how powerful you truly are, because the more obstruction and the more devitalized you are from everything I just said, from the wrong practices that are unnatural and diet, and there are many living practices which I could get into. So the more devitalized and obstructed you are, the least power you have. And when you give up food, you start to detox, and that's to become really weak. And you rely just on your Jing, just on your reserve energy, your backup power, your sexual energy, your sexual libido power, your vitality, your virility, as I call it's your vitality. So yeah, if you're used to having stimulants, be it coffee, chocolate, a ton of spices like garlic and onion, but really we're talking about caffeine and chocolate and cooked animals, or even dead raw animals. They're all stimulating. So if you give up your stimulants, then you're going to find out how strong you really are, and if you're not going to be a vampire. So yeah, this is a way longer video than I thought I was going to say. I thought I was going to get into the simplistic outline of it. What else could I talk about quickly, just to kind of move on a little bit? Because really and utterly, it isn't really all about physical stuff. For me, spirituality is not primarily focused on physical stuff. It's primarily focused on purifying your heart and purifying your mind first and foremost, ahead of your body. Your body is very important, and it's instrumental, and body, mind, spirit are connected as one. But you get more bang for your buck when you focus on your heart and your mind. So if you focus and intend and want to become in tune with your higher self. So yes. So, clarification. What is spirituality? It's truth, it's purification. The third one, it is aligning with your higher self, the truth of who you truly are, the divine, loving, divine, high energy consciousness being. So that means living from and working with and wanting to live from your heart with all the virtues. So I've been doing this since my early 20s. It takes time. Compassion, love, forgiveness, patience. They're the big ones. If you can just remember those three words, it'll help you in your relationships enormously. Compassion, love, and forgiveness. Then other things like tolerance, in terms of tolerating people's ego and their pain body with compassion, with a sense of humility, of equality, of non-judgment. So then there's also like understanding, kindness, respect, honor, living gracefully and treating others with grace and dignity and caring. These are pure virtues of the heart. So if you can purify your heart from the obstructions that block these virtues and intend to grow these virtues, you'll do wonderful, my friends. So we need to also purify and clear up our mind and our belief systems and our indoctrination, our cultural programming, our parental and societal and family programming and belief systems and things we were led to believe, led to think, how we see people in the world, all that stuff. Clean our mind, clean the obstructions in our body, clean our mind especially, and our hearts. Live from love, true love, not just the word love, not just a 4-letter spelling, but what love is made up of. And to love also means to save and protect it, my friends. This is another thing related to veganism. Sometimes I just don't understand, how can people like hurt children or hurt animals, because they're both equally divine, innocent, pure, harmless, and just beautiful creatures. So helpless, dependent, vulnerable. Why do people hurt either one of those categories? Because, and I came across this distinctly the other day, because they're disconnected. They don't understand. They're just disconnected. They don't feel attached, or a string between the two of them. They're isolated in the way their connection to how another being is. And we're talking about like not only adults too, but especially the most weakest and vulnerable and needing our love and support, our protection and savior from harm, which is the children and the animals, our pets, any animal whatsoever. And any child, not just our child, is not just conditional. You love only your own bloodline, you love everybody. And when you connect to the truth of who you truly are, your divine higher self being, you'll love everybody. You'll care for everyone. You'll want good for everyone. So what is love? Love means to support, to nurture, to feed, to build. It's a sense of giving so others flourish. And that includes children, adults, and animals as well, my friends. The sun shines on everyone. It doesn't make choices. It doesn't make choices. There's a song from Snatam Kaur saying that. Unconditional love loves all. And what's a huge element of love but to protect and to save, my friends? And that means if you love and care for someone or something, you'll want to protect and save it from harm or potential danger or hurt, you know. And so now we're going to start to see now, is my beliefs about love and who I am congruent? Do my actions match up to my core principles? That's why I became vegan. I switched to a vegan life 14 years ago, because I just realised some of this. I realised quite a lot of it actually at that stage, but not all of it, and not as clear and deeply felt as I am now. Now I'm a father. Even before as a father, I'm a protector. But it grew when I became a father too. I'm a protector, a nurturer, a saver. I'll protect, I'll save. I'm a fighter, I'm a warrior of love and heart. And I don't mean pain or violence on others, not even the cabal. I'd rather them just step down from power or lose power or reform to become more connected to empathy. And connection is empathy. When you feel for other people and other beings. So purify our body, purify our hearts, purify our minds, connect to, that all means connection, by the way, connection to the truth, and then there's connection to our higher self, the truth, the purity, the goodness, the love, the light, the unconditional divine being, connection to our divinity. A lot of people talk about this as a core principle of spirituality. So that's that. Okay, moving on. What else does it mean to develop our spirituality and to connect to our higher selves, to live from our higher selves, to live from our heart, okay? And if anyone has any questions, please feel welcome to ask questions, and please do share for other people so they can join in. I'd love it if you shared. We want to work together, my friends, as a team to help share and support and encourage global awakening and the rising of human consciousness in each other. So sharing really good information, any information you vibe with, body, mind, spirit, will help. Yeah, let's do it as a team. When we work as a team, everything will go faster, smoother, more effective, more efficient, and more wonderful, more beautiful, more sweeter. So yeah, please do share if you feel inspired. Please do share all this powerful information. That'll be a good choice. I share loads of people's work all the time. So yeah, what else? Yeah, just to be very grounded, working on our spirituality means working on all of the non-virtues, all of our traumas and wounds from the past. So the ego is more or less our identity. We're identified with a physical body, our concepts, our mental concept of ourselves. That's part of the mental purification and the heart purification. The pain body, or the shadow, is basically the emotional aspect. It's the trauma, it's the energy stored in our cells and within our aura. And the mind is in our aura too, but the heart, trauma is stored in the cells of our body. So trauma means getting neglected, abused of any kind. It could be sexually, mentally, physically, emotionally, abandoned, any of those things, physically, mentally, emotionally abused, sexually abused too, hurtful big experiences from the past, or else huge losses, painful relationship experiences, or even just life experiences, okay, big losses. We need to sort of digest / feel our emotions and process them so that they can be released. And this usually comes in the form of either shaking for some people, or crying, or sometimes letting out of anger. And it's optimal to let out anger not on somebody for sure, but in a way, it could be yelling, shouting in a pillow or something privately, or in a forest. Maybe not a forest, because there's anyone around you seem really strange. But just common sense, just letting out the hurt and the pain. And it can involve just feeling very sad and depressed and low. I've gone through this for many months. So yeah, a few months of letting out the pain. Many months in one go. That was just one instance. Healing can take time. I've been on this journey for like almost 15 years now. So that's an enormous factor, my friends, and that's called emotional maturity. Emotional maturity, emotional development. For me, there's nothing more important than growth and expansion and awakening and deepening and furthering ourselves. Because that's where something can change big overnight in our life. We can make immediate breakthroughs and start to see and feel the world through a different set of filters and feelings, especially. Because we predominantly feel the world feeling-wise, emotionally, and feeling. For example, two people could be on a beach or in a forest or in a house, and they can have the same senses physically, but they could feel very, very, very differently there. And what really matters is how we feel emotionally, where we are. You know, you could have a car, you could have a house, or you could not have a car or a house, and people can feel totally different. So at the end of the day, when we do any of these things that I'm mentioning, you have immediate results, and this can bring your life in a new direction straight away. Or it doesn't have to be a change of your life necessarily. It could be the exact same things happening in your life and the same people, but how you feel and respond to people and treat them or react to others could be totally different. It could be so much more heart-centered and full of higher energies of love, gratitude and appreciation and care and respect and reverence and even awe and grace and even celebration, celebrating people who are there instead of thinking of them from a lower frequency way. And that, my friends, has truly, in my own personal experience, just transformed my life and made it sweeter. It's made it very, 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 very sweeter and more happy and joyful to be alive. I felt more inner peace by a long shot and less stress, less anxiety. And one thing that helps for me with anxiety is trusting the universe. And what I've learned is all things happen in divine timing. All things happen in divine timing. So it's always a perfect time and a place for everybody. So just the process. And the more you raise your consciousness, the more synchronicities you'll have. And it'll be very obvious that things are working out in your favor, even when you don't get what you immediately want in your mind. There's a deeper work behind it all, and it's all working out for you. And as long as you do the inner work on your body, mind, spirit, emotion, and want to connect with honesty and the truth and respect and dignity, all these lovely things, and show up sincerely as a humble type of learner and beginner, and thanking and appreciating others. And these days in my life, I give credit for people who've helped me, and I don't just try and act like, oh, I know this or this is the answer. Like, but if I do say, hey, I know this or this is the answer, but I want to like say, I learned this from others, and I thank my teachers, or I thank this person's name. Like, this is great. So pass on the love and their honor, the appreciation, and celebrate life every day. Life is short, and the Cabal or the Illuminati or the globalists, they tricked us with English as the last language, and they made it like in a little bit more of a tricky, darker way. Good morning is something you should replace, if you choose to, because to mourn is to grieve and to be sad. And when they try and tell us like every day we should possibly say good morning, that's like saying good or like good luck with your loss, like happy sadness to you. You don't want to say that, really. I don't. I've switched to good celebrating. It feels so much better. It's the opposite of good morning. Good prospering, good celebrating, happy day of celebration to you. Yeah, just develop this inner feeling within inside of you of just being grateful, and trusting the universe and showing up and learning your lessons as they come, because one lesson will always come after the other, and the next lesson, this lesson will be appropriate for your current stage, and until you learn your current lesson, the next lesson that's in line won't come to you. There's slots. It's almost like a sequence. So it's not purely linear, but that's basically the truth of it. So you don't learn advanced lessons when you're just a beginner. So learn your lesson, and you're going to keep progressing. And if you intend all of these things in this video, you're going to do it faster. That means you can learn and grow and gain wisdom and love and connection and special abilities that are your potential, like psychically, and just being in tune and energy sensitive. And that's the way I've become much more energy sensitive these days, much more empathic, much more in tune with my body, much more heart centered. Yeah, it's pretty amazing, my friends. I just can't get over it. It's just truly marvelous. I don't know, my relationship went from practicing these principles, my friends. My relationship went from really hard and troublesome. We'd be arguing almost every single day. Both of us were getting triggered. Our pain bodies and wounds from the childhood was coming up big time. There was love and passion. There was care. There was respect. But sometimes respect would diminish because we'd think the other people are doing terrible things to us. I think she was, she think I was. And at the end of the day, it was the filter of our ego and pain body, or our shadow from the past. But we transformed that. We did the work. We got helpers in the form of healers and nature and animals. They're all healers, my friends. And our healing friends even as well. People who are just kind and nice to us, listen to us, etc. But healers, I highly recommend going to healers. Whatever healer you want, some kind of energy or spiritual healer, Reiki, anything, there's loads of names. And do the work on yourself. So a massive part of before I go, because I gotta go, I have to do work, errands, a huge part of spirituality and growing in life, my friends, my beautiful sweethearts, is to be honest with yourself in terms of daily reflection and evaluation of the truth of where you're at and how and why you're behaving the way you are. So when I would react after getting really upset initially, that emotional spike, after some time out, it would go away, it would reduce. Then I'd eventually choose to, when I learned this, to look at myself and say, how did I contribute to the trouble? What did I do and not do to help make the disconnection and the hurt and pain between myself and my soul partner? And when I started taking responsibility and accountability for my actions and behavior and inactions, my demeanor, my tone, and my body language, everything that contributed, everything, when I started to reduce and stopping blaming her, and I started owning it myself instead of being almost like a baby, no offense to me from the past, but when I started stepping up to be more mature and responsible and accountable, that's when magic happened. Coupled with the softening, that softened my tone, demeanor, and energy and words. And I stopped blaming. It's just brilliant, my friends. I just can't get over it. A whole life, my whole physical body, from the lifestyle practices and diet, my whole relationship, which is the most important to me at the time, and still is, my family and relationship, my marriage, well, marriage is just a contemporary thing. My divine counterpart, my divine soulmate relationship, it went from a fiery place to a beautiful place. It's really harmonious. It's been a rocky path, but that's divine. So now I do consultations of body, mind, spirit, health, relationship, empowerment, and awakening and ascending. That's what I do. It's my biggest passion. I have like 3, 4, 5 books coming out, and I love it. Health, detoxification, all that stuff. Ascension and raising our frequency and consciousness, my hope, my passion, my purpose, my work right now on earth, for sure. I have a herb store. I offer 15% off. I do 40% off consultations that are non-herb related. I have all that, in generally speaking, in my life, but the herbs and the health isn't my passion. They're just supporting ascension, healing, awakening, expansion of our consciousness. So if you're interested, check me out, share this video, book a consultation or book many consultations with me, or even just one. Help you fast track your journey so you can become much wiser and powerful and have a beautiful life at an earlier age. It doesn't have to be me. It could be any healer, any light worker, any way shower, any leader, any wise heart-centered being. Or you could just, it will fast track your process. I've done dozens of healings, so I just can't recommend it enough. Now I'm also one of them for quite a while. So I'll just say thank you for watching. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the working together as a team. Thanks for sharing this with your family and friends. Thanks for giving me your time and attention. Thanks for working on yourself. Thanks for being part of the global team, the Consciousness Awakening team. I think I better go. Loads of love. Thanks for watching. See you.